Welcome to another episode of the Balancing Hormones Naturally podcast, where we offer actions and steps you can take today to start balancing your hormones naturally. This is your podcast host, Leah Brueggemann. I am a functional diagnostic nutritional practitioner. I am honored and excited to be your guide on your journey to better understanding your hormonal health and how it affects your everyday life. Hey ladies, so today I'm going to answer one of the very frequently asked questions I get all the time, which is, what was my experience becoming a functional practitioner, going through FDN, all the deets? So if that's not something you want to hear about, this is not an episode for you. So we're just going to be super upfront there. So FDN is awesome. So what you become is a certified functional diagnostic nutritional practitioner. So you have to go through FDN. It is self-paced. So, however long you take to get through, which, can be a blessing and a curse. Like if you can go faster, it's a blessing, but, sometimes when things are self-paced, we tend to take a lot of time with them. So that's just, depends on what kind of person you are there. So, okay, I'm not even sure how to break this down for you. I think maybe the pros and cons, there's not really that many cons, what it's like, what you would need to going into this, etc. So when you become a functional practitioner, you are literally a detective. Like you don't treat, you don't diagnose, but by helping the body heal from the ground up, you can help alleviate so many symptoms. So we don't treat symptoms, we don't chase symptoms, we help the body as a whole. And that's something that I really resonated with, which is why I signed on to become an FDN. Before this, I obviously was not an FDN, I was just a health coach. And what the pros of coming in with that health background were massive, I will say, because it wasn't like a lot of the information was new to me. And so if you do talk to a few people that, came in without that health background, they will tell you that like it was really hard and they would just go really slow through a lot of the material. But if you do have that health background, I think that it gives you a good trampoline, good bouncing off point, and then you can just accelerate your learning. I felt like FDN really just helped me from the ground up see, all of these different sides of health, because I specifically work with women with hormones. And so it was really nice to get even more rounded with FDN because, they cover a lot with obviously men, and they cover a lot with gut, and they show how even though you may be presenting all these symptoms of hypothyroidism, it doesn't necessarily mean that the thyroid is the issue. You have to dig deeper. And that's what I love about FDN is it's always dig deeper, look harder, what is underneath the surface that's causing the issues. And the main thing that they do teach is how to read and work with labs. And you guys, it's the coolest thing because you learn how to interpret lab results in clinical correlation with clients' symptoms. So I get messages all the time of people sending me their labs and they're like, hey, can you look at my labs and tell me what? And I'm like, well, A, I can't do that without a client-coach relationship. Like legally, I can't do that. I'm sorry. But then secondly, your labs, you guys, are only a part of the picture. They're so interesting and they're a massive puzzle piece, but without knowing your backstory and your medical history and your symptoms, those labs could mean totally two different things, right? And so the most amazing thing that I learned at FDN is taking lab results as a part of the puzzle piece and putting it together with the symptoms to make a clinical correlation to truly get clients to heal, instead of just being like, oh yeah, your thyroid hormone's low or your estrogen's low. And it's like, okay, well, why is it low? Let's dig a little bit deeper. What could cause this to be low? Which is awesome. And I love that. So FDN is self-paced, like I said. So you can go at whatever schedule you would like. It is modules that you go through. You watch the videos and you have to take quizzes, and sometimes I think there's random tests that you have to take throughout. And you get to run labs on yourself, which is really, really cool. So you get to obviously implement and start learning that way, which is amazing. And then you actually, to get certified, you have to go through, I think it's 4, I can't believe I can't remember this exactly, 4 practicals where you literally get a figment, what is the word I'm looking for, guys? Figmental, whatever. You'll come up with the word for me. Client, and we get their labs and we get their stories, and we have to analyze the labs, set a protocol, and get verbally quizzed, which is terrifying. I think the first one is like 2 hours or so. And it's just terrifying, but it's really good practice. So you have to do 4 of those. I think it's 4. It's a lot. And then you have a written final, which is like 65 plus essay questions, you guys. I'm talking like I wrote like a page for these questions. It takes forever to do the test. And then you have a verbal final, which is a couple hours, and they just kind of like to make sure you know everything, which is important. So they don't just send you out into the wild unless you know what you're doing. So there's that. But some things that I loved about FDN, I loved how they set everything up, where it just starts with the foundations and learning all of the things like about the gut, not just like you look at what a healthy gut should look like, and then you look at all these different types of unhealthy guts and causes for it, so you can really start to learn deep. You learn all about the hormones, and you learn all about the liver and the detox pathways, and you learn so much stuff about the body, which is incredible. And then you get functional lab training on top of that, and then you get tested till your mind goes numb at the end to make sure that you truly know what you're talking about. So I love that. Okay, cons. Trying to think of cons here. I know the layout was a little hard to understand a little bit at the beginning because you print out slides, and then I'm like, okay, this is way too much paper. So that's a user error on Leah's part. I needed to figure out the technology part of that. But honestly, I thought the information was invaluable, and I thought they delivered it in a great way, and I thought they tested really well to make sure you knew what you were talking about. So I don't really have any cons in that area. I just will say, if you don't have any type of health background, give yourself a lot of grace and pace yourself, because it's a lot of new terminology, and you're learning a lot. The other thing that, and this is not something that I experienced, but this is something that I heard from other people that graduated, is that if you don't already have a health business, for some people, I think they think that if you just graduate as an FDN, you just walk into a health business, like it's just there for you. And after FDN, they do have a lot of business support for you. I already had a business, so I have not tapped into that knowledge. So I can't say whether or not I would like it or not, because I literally just haven't tapped into it. Just a quick break to remind you that if you are not already seed cycling with us, you should be seed cycling with us. The benefits of seed cycling are amazing. They contain so many nutrients that are necessary for hormonal balance, including zinc, manganese, vitamin E, all of the good things, amazing for egg quality. And while seed cycling is not the end picture, like that's not all that you'll have to do to maybe achieve the things that you're looking for in your health, you guys, it is the easiest thing that you can do. So 1 tablespoon of pumpkin and 1 tablespoon of flax seeds from your period to ovulation, and then switch to sesame and sunflower. So that is 1 tablespoon of each of those seeds every single day. You want to be buying whole, organic, and then grind them before you eat them. The reason why you don't want to buy ground is that they go rancid within a couple weeks. So unless you know where your seeds are coming from, how long they were sitting on the shelf, they're probably rancid by the time you get them, okay? So start seed cycling with us. And as always, if you want to make this even simpler for yourself, that is where Funk It Wellness seeds can literally change your life. They are organic, they are certified B Corp, all of their seeds are they get them from the best places, and you can get them shipped to your door. So it literally doesn't get any simpler than that. And it's a subscription. So literally, Happy Hormone subscription box. I can sign up for that. Yes, please. So you can get yours shipped to your door. Right now, they're only in the US. So if you are outside of the US, I apologize. But if you are inside of the US, take advantage of the flash sale that they have going on. You can use code LEAH, LEAH 20 to save 20% off of your order. And you even save already on your subscription. So I love seed cycling, but I will say that sometimes it can get hard to stick to because it's hard to find quality seeds, and sometimes I forget to grind them and then I don't get my seeds in for the day. So Funk It Wellness makes it super simple. Literally, they're shipped right to my door. They grind them right before they ship them, so I know that they're not rancid. They have certified B Corp companies that they get their seeds from, so they're super high quality. They're organic, so yeah, I'm much more consistent with my seed cycling now, thanks to Funk It Wellness. But what I wanted to say about it is I have heard from quite a few people that graduated that I think it was just the mindset. They're like, oh, I'm going to graduate and I'm going to have like all these clients and it's going to be great. And that's not necessarily how it works. Like, you have the knowledge now of being an FDN, but like you still have to learn how to start and run a business. So I know FDNs that literally just graduated FDN because they wanted to be able to help support their bodies and they wanted to help be able to support their families, and they didn't want to make it a business. So I think that really just depends on what you want to do with it. I love the ability that FDN has given me to help so many people. The functional labs are invaluable. Literally, I love it. So I'm not sure if you guys have any other questions about any of that. I think that if you're thinking about it, reach out, ask me questions. I will put the link to learn more about it in the show notes. I definitely think that it's considerably worth the investment. I think you have to give yourself a lot of grace. I just think that the only thing I would just be aware of is that going through it doesn't mean that you have a business to just walk into when you finish. And I think that that's the biggest thing for people to remember is like, this is giving you the health knowledge to help people. Yes. But then you also have to get the business savvy to run a business, which is not a podcast for another day because I will not be making that podcast. But I think that FDN is invaluable. Learning the functional labs was invaluable. Learning all the foundations, and like, you guys, it's so sciencey, but like so tangible at the same. It's just, like when you were in anatomy class and you're just kind of like, how am I ever going to use this for the rest of my life? FDN was like the complete opposite. It was like all the sciencey stuff, but like so applicable to your life that you just are riveted and going, oh my gosh, I love learning about the liver and how the liver affects all these hormones. And then the other thing that I really loved about FDN is the community of practitioners that it gave me. So many amazing, brilliant minds that you can bounce ideas off of and do clinical consults with, which I love, just having that network. And you also can go on for advanced training. Like, I have learned so much. Like, I always go on for the advanced trainings in hormones because, hello, that's what I do. So I love that. And you can go on to be board certified, which I'm going to do. And it's just awesome. Okay, so I don't have any cons, I just have pros. But I think that it does take a lot of mental capacity. Like, I I feel like I definitely put my business on pause while I was going through FDN because you're just learning so much and you're taking a lot of quizzes, you guys. So it does take a lot of mental power there. And I already had a health background. So I would assume that if I didn't have that, it would have probably taken me longer. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I got to say. But I know a lot of people that do this alongside their business. I just kind of put my business a little bit on pause because, you know, I own my own business and that was something I was able to do. So I took advantage of it. And I had a child and my husband was in grad school at the same time. So there was only so much my brain could take on. And so pausing my business was something I did because I wanted to fully immerse myself in FDN and really just grasp all the things and learn all the things and implement all the things. So I loved it. So the tests that we learned in there were a stress and hormone panel. We learned the gut GI map test. We learned tests for stress and oxidative stress and on your liver, the food sensitivity tests. And I loved them all. I will say though that I went on afterwards to learn more labs because I wanted to expand my knowledge. So I went on to learn hair mineral analysis and Dutch because those were the two that I wanted to add to my business. So it gives you a great foundation and then access to learn about more labs and trainings if you want to. And I loved it. I'm sure you guys have specific questions. So if you have specific questions, we can always do a follow-up episode or just shoot me a message and I'll answer it. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for listening, guys. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Balancing Hormones Naturally. If you found this helpful, I would love for you to share it with a friend and post it on your stories and tag Balancing Hormones Naturally podcast so we can get this message out. You can find me on Instagram at Leah_BRUEG, and I would absolutely love to hear from you.